In this video, we'll show you how to clone yourself in your photos. We thought that the best way to do this would be with a Squid Game inspired photo shoot. Oh, and thanks to Squarespace for keeping us out of the Squid Game by sponsoring this video. We got this 100% genuine and authentic Squid Game outfit, definitely licensed by Netflix, from eBay. Side note, it runs small.
Whether or not you dress up like a goof, you'll want to make sure you have a tripod for your camera.
Does anyone have a camera here?
We're shooting with the Canon EOS R and a 16 to 35mm lens, and we're triggering the shutter release through the Canon app on our phone to make sure the camera doesn't move at all. If you don't have the ability to do this with your camera, you may want to pick up a cheap shutter release remote. Since we'll be taking many photos and compositing them together, it's easiest if you have even lighting conditions so the color temperature, shadows, and highlights don't differ too much between the images. Today we've got nice overcast clouds, and that should make our job in post much easier. Alright, let's do this.
I hit my nose. That actually really hurt. Aww. It's very sharp plastic.
How you feel?
Ridiculous. The background plate will be the frame you've composed exactly how you want it with all the settings finalized and locked off, and will give you a nice clean plate to use when compositing everything together in Photoshop. In our first photo, one of my clones will be closest to the camera and the focal point of the image, so Rachel directed me to my spot, she pulled focus on me, and then switched the lens to manual focus so that the focal plane will not shift in between shots. We are also shooting this in manual mode on our camera, so Rachel also made sure the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture were where she wanted them. Then she took the photo without me in frame. That's our background plate.
Let's just go farther back. Next, I directed Daniel into frame. You could just be stoic. Once he was positioned where I wanted him, I simply took the photo and then had him move to the next position. It helps to have a vision in your mind before you start so you can play in the positioning and the depth of your clones throughout the frame, so it creates a balanced composition. For this photo shoot, we wanted the images to be Squid Game meets Mango Street in terms of posing and composition. If anything, it's best to overshoot this part just so you have as many options to try out later as possible. You may find it's tricky to remember which parts of your composition have been filled, so playing it safe will help you out in the end.
Once we have all the images, we loaded them into Lightroom. Here we may adjust the exposure, white balance, and overall color grade for the photo set. We slapped our MS Moody preset from our classic collection on these photos, and then lowered the exposure and warmed up the white balance. We want every photo to get the same edit, so with adjustments finalized on the first photo, we can shift click on the last photo of the set and then click sync. Check all and then synchronize.
Next, with all the photos still selected, you can right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. And this is what we did, but it will slow down your computer a touch and create a massively sized Photoshop file. Instead, you may find it's best to export all the photos out of Lightroom as JPEGs or PNGs, and then load them into a single Photoshop document as individual layers. Open one photo, then drag and drop the rest onto the first photo. Or go to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack, and select all of the other images.
Keep your background plate as your bottom layer, then simply mask yourself out from each photo. The easiest way is usually with Photoshop's Select Subject tool, which was released about 3 years ago. You can then click on Select and Mask to further refine the selection. You can then use the Quick Selection tool to add or subtract from your mask. You can use the Refine Edge Brush tool, which if you had trouble masking out something like hair, you would just paint along the edge of your subject. And then on the right, you can further refine the edge of your mask. You can also mask out your subject with the standard Quick Selection tool, the pen tool, or whatever masking tool you're most comfortable with. Just a note, with this shoot, it's okay if our masks aren't perfect as long as the entire subject is selected. Since they were shot in quick succession, the edges of the mask should blend pretty nicely with the background plate. When you're happy with it, change Output to Layer Mask. Then repeat the process with all of your other clones. Since we have a few extras, we decided to hide a few clones that were awkwardly placed in relation to the other clones, or just detracted from the composition as a whole.
So here's our image, but we just want to add a little bit more drama to it. We'll select any visible layer and press Shift Command Option E. This takes all of our visible layers and prints it onto one single layer. Now we can go to Edit, Sky Replacement. This feature was released in October 2020, so if you don't have this option, you could do something like Luminar, do it manually, or just skip it altogether. We want to choose a sky that fits the color and the tone of our image, so this dramatic cloudy sky is perfect.
And finally, if you wanted, you could add an adjustment layer with a photo filter, a colored gradient, tone curve, whatever you want. We'll leave ours as is. We really wanted to get a few shots with the Squid Game guards and the players, but unfortunately our tracksuit order was canceled, so we couldn't get our paws on it for this shoot. We did decide to make the most out of this outfit, so let's take a look at some of the other photos that we shot.
Do it like lean, kind of a band, you know what I mean? Yeah, oh that's sick, dude. Okay. Do like points maybe. Yeah, oh I love that. Those are good. Okay, I like it. How'd it go?
Well, other than cutting my nose, I think it went really well.
What's like a Squid Game catchphrase?
It's all in Korean, I don't know.
Rachel, I'm so happy to be standing here with you today, surrounded by all of our friends.
Daniel, we've been together for 8 years, through 7 different apartments and 4 different websites, all of which were hosted by Squarespace's easy-to-use all-in-one platform.
You're so beautiful, inside and out, just like Squarespace's designer templates.
You've always been there for me, day and night, just like Squarespace's award-winning 24/7 customer support.
I'm so glad I made my next move with Squarespace, and you. I love you both so much.
One, using a tripod, adjust your camera settings and focal point, then switch to manual. 2, shoot a background plate. 3, shoot and shuffle trademark.
Just say shoot and shuffle.
I'm gonna say trademark. 4, color grade each image so that they look identical. 5, mask out each clone with the background plate underneath. 6, add final polish to the image.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you learned something new, or at the very least, enjoyed watching me struggle around in this outfit. Please bop that thumbs up button on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell because YouTube literally hates us and they just won't show you our videos otherwise. See you next time. These gloves do not fit at all. This is a large suit. I'm not that big.